Hey guys, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. So I wanted to show you what I picked up on one of my Black Friday shopping things. I actually shopped online this year. Just because I don't really live super close to any of the big stores, and I don't like the big crowds anymore. I used to really think it was fun, but yeah, not so much. So I found this on Amazon on their Black Friday sale, and actually I've already opened it. So I haven't used it yet though, but I opened it because I was really curious, and I thought, hey, I should make a video of this because if I'm curious, it probably means that you guys are curious too. So these are some water brush sets, as you can see from the title here. It comes with 3 fine point brushes and 3 flathead brushes. So if these turn out good and you guys are interested in looking at more information about these, I'll leave a link to the Amazon site where I got these from so you can go and take a peek at it. So I've never had watercolor brushes before, and I've always wanted to try them. I've seen a lot of artists use water brushes, and basically what they are is a paintbrush with a brush tip, and then the handle is hollow, and you put water inside, and then as you squeeze your brush out, the water goes out your brush. So you don't need to have that cup of water to rinse it, in theory. Another thing people will do is put inks inside of here, and then you have your own ink felt brush kind of thing. And I am curious to try these out and see what I think about them. The first question of the day is how to get water in them. Granted, I could take them downstairs to my kitchen and fill them up, but that would be hard to take the camera. So instead, I have a cup. I have spilled the water. I have cleaned the water. Get in there. And then I have this little pipette thing. And I think, granted, it would be so much easier of me if I would just go downstairs, but I am stubborn and want to do it this way. I'll do it my way. So I'm just going to pipette some of this water into this water brush. Oh, it's not going to take that long at all. And then you screw this on really tight. And there you go. You have your aqua brush. So normally the water does not come out if I don't do anything. It just remains a dry brush. When I push on the push part of this and squeeze, supposedly, yes, water comes out. Woo! So now let's check and see how this works with actual watercolors. So I'm using today my Raphael traveling watercolor kit, just because it's cute and so fancy. And let's just check it out. The moment of not knowing what you want to paint. You know, I should have really probably thought about this a little bit before I started recording. But yeah, it happens. So I'm going to squeeze a little water into the palette. It comes out nicely. Now supposedly when it gets a little dried out, I can just squeeze a little more water onto it. It does dilute your paint. But that's what water brushes are all about. So I do like this has a nice fine tip to it. I like how the bristles stay together. So far, this one is nice. I don't know, I think this one might be the finest. Yeah, so this is the finest point of all 3 of them. So I'm finding that controlling the water is a little bit challenging, but it could also be just a learning curve. I haven't worked with these very much, so I wouldn't judge that as the final verdict that it's challenging until I spend a little bit more time playing with the brushes. So the other thing you're supposed to be able to do is to clean your brush off just by squeezing water out of it. So let's see if that actually cleans your brush. So I'm just squeezing out the water and rubbing it on my cloth. And yeah, it did clean it all out. And it only used just a little bit of that much water to get my paint moving and to put some out there. So this one here is supposed to be a fine tip point, but you can see it does not come to a fine tip. Maybe once it has water in it. Let's check it out. I feel like such a scientist when I do this. Science! And these ones don't leak. I haven't had any problem with them leaking out of the sides there, so that's nice. Okay, so yeah, this one does not want to gather into a point. Let's see what it does with actual paint in it. Yeah, it's kind of a rough point. But you can bring it out to a nice little point. But you can see that it likes to split, so I wouldn't use this one except for like filling in areas. Yeah, this one's not my favorite. The first one was nice though. My picture's so amazing. So this larger one definitely uses a lot more water. I did a lot less to it, and it's almost halfway empty, so it uses way more water, obviously, than the smaller brush. So now I want to look at these guys, which I'm not interested in using these to paint with. I don't like flat brushes anyway to paint with, but what I think these would be amazing for would be to put ink in them and use them as to cover up large areas, because I'm always having to dip into ink and get my ink. So I think I'm going to use this medium size here. I would assume if you're going to use Indian ink with this, that it's going to stain this, so you probably will never get this beautiful white again, so just heads up with that one. So that's the brand I enjoy mostly. It's covered in Indian ink, so you can't see all of it. So I'm going to pipe it in some ink in here. So I'm just going to do 3 pipets full, just because if it doesn't work, I don't want to waste a ton of ink. But I don't see why it wouldn't work. But art is all about experimentation. All right, let's take this guy, dry him off really good first. See, looking like anything. He's actually kind of looking cool now. Of course, when I want to destroy him. All right, so now, ooh, it's kind of cool looking. Oh, yep, I was afraid of that was going to happen. Blobbing out there. Sorry, you're out of frame. I was so excited. I forgot to make sure you guys were looking. If you must blink, do it now. I like this kind of like, I don't think that's meant to do that, but check that out, because it's got like, it separates a little bit, so it has this really cool cross-hatching effect. That's really cool. So if you want to get a nice line, you really have to lay it over and pull it. But if you want that nice line, like that texture, that is amazing. And yes, just in case you were wondering, I will be selling this piece on Etsy. This is why you never want to do a really cool piece while you are experimenting. You just want to get a swatch of paper and just doodle. While I paint this picture, let me give you some thoughts about these water brushes. So I think these brushes work fine. I think they do exactly what they're meant to do. But using a water brush technique is so far different from how I watercolor that it's really hard for me to control this medium. I did not know how much I have to control my water in my paintings. I know exactly how wet I want my brush to be, so that I know exactly how wet my paints will be. I know the concentrate of my paint quality, and that all comes from controlling your water. With these brushes, it's kind of a guess. I know the more I use them, the more I will be able to kind of figure out that formula and work it out. So it's not the brush's fault. There are some art techniques that you just kind of do this really wet painting, but this had so much water on this painting. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do a really nice piece with this. You will not see me using these brushes on the YouTube Artist Collective video coming out on Friday. Yeah, no. What I think I will really like these brushes for, and probably what I will use these for, is my Indian inks. Again, I'll probably have a little bit of time getting used to how much pressure to push on the pen to get the right amount of ink out. I like having the Indian ink in the brush, so I'm not having to constantly dip back into my inkwell. So to wrap this all up, if you're looking for watercolor brushes and you've never had any, I think this is a great set to start off with. I'll leave a link in the description of this video so that you can go over to Amazon, check it out, read some of the reviews about the products themselves to make up your mind if this is the set that you want to purchase. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me while I gave you my first thoughts and first review on water brushes. Hey, if you used them, let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts and opinions on them? I would think they'd be great for traveling. If you're going to go someplace and you want to take some paints with you, that might not be a bad idea. If you're brand new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You wouldn't want to miss another exciting episode here on Art à la Carte. And until next time, thanks for watching. God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.